Hey Sam here. I am so excited to have with me some of the Gratitude Effect Virtual Summit speakers that are going to be part of the summit next week, January 6th through 10th, 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Central. And there will be a link around this video for you to RSVP. It is free, but you do have to RSVP so that you will get access to a digital participants guide that's editable to where you can take your notes, save it, and then keep going to where after the end of it, you'll have it all together one place. You will get the replays access until the 30th of January. You will get lots of freebies from the different speakers, and one woman that registers and completes the feedback form after the summit is going to win a self-love makeover from me, which I sell for $997. So RSVP, enjoy the summit for free, and then maybe you'll be the person that wins. I got to say, we just had a call with a lot of the speakers. Some of them, I mean, everybody was sharing their story and a little bit about what they're talking about and how gratitude has played such a role in their life, and the goosebumps that I got and almost tears a couple of times because the power of us telling our story, and even through all the pain and the heartache that life can bring, that there is gratitude in those moments. And everybody's story doesn't have to be really big and dramatic and filled with a lot of pain. Some people were saying that they had a pretty good life until this one thing happened, and some people had chaos their whole lives. And what I see in all of them is we're all here. We're all still shining the light into the dark world, and we're able to use our voice to make things better. And if you've been around me for any length of time, you've probably heard me say or seen me write it, that your voice matters, the world needs you, and you are loved. And so I'm so excited about the Gratitude Effect Virtual Summit. And Kathy, I'm going to have you share first, and then Dr. E, you'll go next. Just share a couple minutes, whatever's on your heart about your story, what you're going to be talking about in the summit, and maybe a key takeaway you think the women will get after watching your summit presentation.
All right, my name is Kathy Bates, and I coach Christian nonfiction authors how to write their books, self-publish them, and market them. And I got into this because of a trauma that I went through in my past, and it was kind of a path that God took me down that I never expected. And it started off with me writing a book years after the trauma, sharing my healing journey. And then from there, I got asked to do some coaching, and then eventually started my own coaching business. And the reason I focus on helping Christian nonfiction authors is because I felt like I was to give Christian authors a safe place where they could share their faith and also get spiritual support along with the nuts and bolts of how to write and publish your book. And so that's what I do. My talk is about how gratitude can be your secret ingredient as an author. And I don't want to really give any of that away, but it really can help you as a writer. And so I think you're going to get some good tips on what you can do as an author to just help your writing to be more quality.
Well, thank you, Kathy. I can't wait to hear it. And I know that everybody watching is going to be blessed by what you have to share. I know that I have been blessed by being able to have you as my writing coach. So thank you. All right, Dr. E, are you in a place where you can share for a minute?
Yes, I am. Thank you. I am Dr. Alicia Featherston. I'm a pediatric nurse practitioner and have been practicing in primary care for 18 years this year. And I plan to help parents kind of find a way to do either a daily or just gratitude practice in general around parenting, either even pre-conception and the thoughts of what it's going to look like all the way down to when things don't go the way you expect, or life does throw you a curveball, or even on the good days that are just hard because being a parent is just your extra job that day. Um, and I am a parent. I have two children, one that would be considered special needs or has a chronic healthcare issue. So I've also lived that was a child of abuse also. So kind of come from both perspectives as a parent, a provider, a survivor of abuse in childhood and adulthood. So finding daily gratitude or just, I guess, a mindset of gratitude around the hard things that are going to come up for parents every day.
Yeah, and it's so true. And I look at the life that my daughter, my grandkids are 6 and 11, and I think of the things that the kids are having to go through now compared to when we were kids, and then what that means for the parents. So I'm so glad that the world has people like you that can be an advocate for the people that need it, those kids and the parents. So thank you, Dr. E. All right, Melanie, and then Joy.
Thank you, Sam. My name is Melanie Starr, and I'm a holistic divorce recovery coach. And when I say holistic, that means that I take all kinds of different aspects. My training is in, yoga, energy healing, coaching. So I work with the emotional body, with the person's thoughts, with their physical body, with their breath, with their energy system, in a really sort of, it's actually very simple the way it actually unfolds. It has to do with connecting with your body and where your emotions are being held within the body so that you can release trauma and heavy emotions from your body, because that's where they're stored. And if you're just trying to work with the mind, that's important to change your thought patterns. It's like called top down, but we also need to work bottom up to get a really accelerated and complete healing that it's so satisfying to watch women healing and changing their lives, healing beyond just the divorce aspect, but right into their childhood trauma and all of the conditioning that led them to be disempowered partner in their marriage and to stay in a relationship, perhaps, for example, for way too long in the face of abuse and all the other kinds of things that happen to women in marriages. So what I'm going to be talking about is how I used gratitude in my journey of healing, not just from the devastating divorce from a 26-year marriage, but concurrently with supporting my daughter through very, very severe anorexia. We nearly lost her. So it was a really complicated dynamic, but I used gratitude as a practice, and I've developed a 3-step process so people can easily actually have a step-by-step process to be able to anchor gratitude into their life. I'm calling it pump up your gratitude muscle. It's like anything. People have habitual ways of thinking, right? The way we walk around, we have habitual ways of thinking and feeling. And we have to, if we can understand that, oh, that's just a habit, we can break a habit. We can create a new habit. We can train a new habit. So that's what I'll be talking about is my process for doing that. So, and I'm really looking forward to it. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, glad you're here, Melanie. Yeah, I'm so excited. I know that there have been women in Safe Heart Connections that have reached out to Melanie and worked with her specifically, and they have said so many good things about what they got from working with you. So I'm very excited that you're here and you're going to be able to share for the summit. All right, Joy, and then Dr. Lynn.
Thank you, Sam. I'm Joy Harris from Joy Can Help, and I am going to express my gratitude for being part of the Gratitude Effect Virtual Summit, because I'm pretty excited about being in this. And I am a success coach that works with primarily busy professionals to help them find success as they define it. And it would be a way to find joy every day, not a person, but the feeling of joy, and finding what it means to have joy come from within. And I don't mean getting a promotion or going on vacation. That is happiness, and that can be temporary. I'm talking about joy every day. And that's what I'll be speaking about. I would like to offer a couple of tips during my talk about ways you can invite joy into your life, the ways you can remind yourself to feel joyful. And there's actually a couple of ways that are only 3 to 5 minutes a day to just remember that there are ways to find joy, even when you've maybe had some bad news, but having the joy within helps us cope There are coping skills, and inviting joy into your life is one of them. I have a background in stress management, and I've had a lot of stressful jobs or stressful projects in the corporate world. So I've been coaching busy executives and team members for many years. But now I have an opportunity to work with those whom are looking for a guide on the side and someone that would be there for them. And I am so much looking forward to talking about bringing joy into your life, even if it's just 3 minutes at a time. But thank you.
Yeah. Well, Joy, I'm so glad you're going to talk about joy. And you are right. Happiness and joy are not the same thing. So I can't wait to hear what you have to share. Thank you. All right, Dr. Lynn and then Samantha.
Thank you so much. I'm Dr. Lynn Joe from She Heals, and I help women over 40 with unexplained pains and symptoms that are usually caused by trauma and stress. So I help women to identify the pains and symptoms in their body and to get to the root cause of it and to actually heal it. And I will be talking about using gratitude and a couple other simple techniques in real time to start to make a connection with your body and your mind and your emotions so that you can get to the root of what is triggering some of your symptoms. Because this is important to help us, even whether you're going to a holistic practitioner or a medical practitioner, your ability to give the story of exactly what's happening in you and to be able to identify where it's coming from is key to you being able to get freedom and healing. And gratitude is absolutely one of the key elements, because when you learn to be grateful for a sensation or a symptom rather than afraid of it, afraid of that you may be dying or that it could mean something very serious. When you can be grateful that a pain is giving you a warning, it can totally turn around the way you experience your symptoms and your sickness or whatever is happening in your life. And it can take you into a whole new world of healing and joy, if I may say so. Thank you so much.
Dr. Lynn, so you've just recently come into my world within the last month, 6 weeks or so. And I remember when we first got connected, just when the first call you were on, you were just like, oh, like we just have felt like we were supposed to know each other. And I am so excited to get to listen to what you share. And I know that there's a lot of women out there that need to start to identify those things that are going on in their body. I had something that was going on in my world my whole life that had never been diagnosed until I was at Dr. E's office, and her adult provider that I see actually made a diagnosis of something that had been happening since I was 13 years old. And now I have relief because somebody finally listened and I was able to explain it. So the people like you in the world are very much needed to maybe help us women know that those pains are a gift. We can figure out what's causing it and then we can get some healing. So thank you for how you're showing up. All right, Samantha, I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Yes, and Sam, first off, I want to, in the spirit of gratitude, thank you for bringing all of these amazing speakers together, because this wouldn't even be happening without you and without your vision of
Thank you.
what this could be. So it's really, really fun to see all of this coming together. And just, I'm super grateful for you and all that I'm learning from you about life and everything in general. So I am Samantha Amaya. I'm a mom of 4 and we live in Virginia. My talk is going to be on leading with light and how unlocking gratitude in our bodies at a cellular level can allow us to be able to navigate literally anything that comes our way, and to expand that gratitude out into more joy, fulfillment, abundance. I started something a few years ago called Create Your Life. And the vision of Create Your Life is, how do we wake up to a life that we actually love versus just passively letting every day go on and taking it as it comes and just saying, well, that's just life. it can just be life if that's what we choose, but we have a choice in how we're going to live it. And when I learned that, I'm the second oldest of 9, and I grew up in and out of foster care, a lot of trauma, a lot of different things happened. And somehow, even despite all of that, God always placed on my heart that I get to choose how I live my life, that I get to be happy if I want to be happy. And the last 3 years have probably taught me the most out of any experience I've ever been in my life, how to really take what God's given me, my physical vessel. I truly believe that our bodies are a physical embodiment of our spirits designed after God. And He teaches us, when we really dive into scripture, how we can take that and unlock that and send light out to the rest of the world. And so my talk is going to be very interactive. It's not just information. It's, hey, we're going to learn some tactical tips and tricks, and we're going to unlock gratitude within ourselves during my talk. So I can't wait to be able to share that with people and show you what that can look like.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm excited for everybody that's sharing, and that you ladies, you mentioned gratitude to me, but I want to express gratitude to y'all, because without you trusting me to come on board with my vision, none of this would be happening. And I'm coming up on 10 years of when I drew the line in the sand to say that this poop is not working anymore. That was the PG version for YouTube. And over the last 10 years, I've done a lot of different work, a lot of different programs. I work with a lot of coaches. Some people can find one coach and go through their process, and then they're free and they're healed. And it took like 7 things for me, y'all. And that's okay. It's going to take different things for different people. What I would say is, if you don't have the life that you want, don't stop looking for the answer. What I've determined for me is that if I had to do it all over again, I would start with gratitude. Because if I had started with gratitude sooner, I would have seen exponential return in the things I was doing, I believe. And when you focus on what you want, what you're grateful for, you'll see more of that. And I believe that God gives us the ability to know who we are, what we were meant to do, how we're supposed to show up in the world, why it matters that we do or don't show up that way, and what it's going to cost us if we don't. And we just have to be willing to walk in it, to step in and say, who am I? Is this the life that I'm supposed to have or not? And if it's not, guess what? It doesn't have to take a ton. You don't have to go through 7 different trainings like I did. You can make the next choice that helps you create the life that you know you were meant to have. And if you're not sure what that is, there's going to be all these women here that are sharing their experience, their expertise, their stories, plus a bunch of others that are going to be on. We have about 25 total speakers over the course of next week. And someone here, if you raise your hand and say, hey, I need help, you're going to have 25 people you reach your hand out and they're going to reach back to you. So I'm so excited for the gratitude effect. And I do believe that it's an effect that can ripple out into the world, that if I show gratitude to my husband, and then he is in a better place, then whenever he goes out into the world, he has a more natural ability to show gratitude and be kind. And then that trickles and continues to ripple out. We can make the world a more grateful place, one person at a time. Who knew? Any final thoughts from anybody before we wrap up? All right. Well, if you have not RSVP'd for the Gratitude Effect Virtual Summit, look for the link around the video and you'll be able to RSVP. It is free, but you do need to RSVP so you get all the goodies, the participants guide, and all the stuff. So if you have any questions, comment below as you're watching, and we'll make sure we get your questions answered. Have a great day, everybody.